So, hello besties and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Saskia, and if you've seen probably my last video, I spoke about my autism assessment and kind of the process of it, I guess. This is part 2 of that video, which is essentially all of the traits that made me realise I was autistic and want the assessment. So this could probably have been part 1, but I've scheduled the other video now and I can't change that. It will make me nervous. Trigger warning, I'm not going to talk about like in detail mental health struggles. However, a lot of my autistic traits presented as mental health struggles. So I will probably loosely be mentioning, depression, anxiety, potentially self-harm. I'm going to go through a kind of mini timeline, I guess, of my autism, which is not necessarily a timeline of my autism, but a timeline of the professionals noticing autism. So in 2017, I was really unwell upstairs, and I was admitted to a psych ward, and pretty much instantly when I met the psychiatrist, he said, have you heard of, this horrible type of autism, the one that we don't use anymore? And I was like, no, tell me more about this. We then did like a screening for it, and I scored above the threshold or borderline on the threshold. We did a few more screenings. I was really unwell. I was not in the place to be doing these screenings. Mentally not in the physical, I wasn't in the physical place to be doing them either. And I did not want to engage with them. Before this, I did not know what autism was. To me, autism was the one child I knew in primary school who threw tables. Or Sheldon Cooper. Now, I don't throw tables and I'm not Sheldon Cooper. Therefore I thought, autism? No, not in my me, absolutely not. We also then did a screening about trains. I didn't score very high because I don't care about trains. Eventually that got abandoned.
Okay, so no, I was just looking through my medical records. This was not abandoned. It was given to my community team to make the decision if I needed an assessment or not. They did not bring this up with me once after I was discharged. I brought this up a year later. What the hell?
I think it was 2019 or like end of 2018, beginning of 2019, I think I realised, oh my god, nah babe, I'm autistic. So I tried to bring it up with CAMS and they kind of said like, oh, look into it. Spoiler, they didn't. I think I literally have it on a letter where it says like, oh, we could speak to Saskia about or like Saskia has asked to rediscuss autism because they considered the discussion we had in the psych ward a discussion when it wasn't actually with them. Basically, they were like, yeah, Saskia would like to rediscuss this. However, it was very we don't think you have autism, we do not think you are autistic. It was however, we would like to let Saskia know that autism overlaps with many of the things that she already struggles with, like an introverted personality type. And here is a list of mental illnesses. And I was like, yeah, but you know what I could have instead of those? I could be autistic. No, they didn't care. I was also, at the end of that paragraph, it was like, we would like to remind Saskia that this is a developmental disability. And I was like, yeah, and? Okay, what's that got to do with me? We've not discussed my childhood development, funnily enough, because I joined you when I was not an infant. Like, my CAMS very much had it in your head that if you'd made it to like 12 without being diagnosed with autism, you could not be autistic because it wasn't that big of a problem. Spoiler, I'm autistic. CAMS fucked up on that one. What did they not fuck up with though? So, in 2020, I think it was literally like right at the beginning, pre-lockdown, I went to the GP and I was like, no babe, I'm autistic, please, please refer me. They referred me to a waiting list. I'm probably still on that waiting list. I don't know what the update is with that. Did I even make it onto that waiting list? No idea. 2022, I called my GP, my new GP at my uni, who's a lot nicer, and I was like, hey babe, have you had a right to choose? And she was like, no. And I was like, autism referral, please. And she went, okay, bestie. Funnily enough, after my referral, I was assessed and I'm autistic. only took me several mental health struggles, several hospitalizations, several years of therapy, irreversible damage to my physical and mental health, that someone finally realised I was autistic. And you know who realised? Me. Me. Although, as much as I hated that first psychiatrist who brought up autism, thank you to him, because I do think without someone prompting me, I would never have gone for autism, because I was looking more for like mental health problems rather than like neurodivergency. As in, like, I wasn't looking at the potential of it being like ADHD or autism. I was more looking like, do I actually have a personality disorder? No, I'm just autistic. I'm really upset about my timeline. Like, yes, thank God I got assessed and I got diagnosed. That was off my own back. My CAMS team could have very easily done an assessment, very easily, and they did not. They actively chose not to. They actively chose to ignore me. And I think it's because if I was diagnosed as autistic, they were like, oh my God, fuck, that's a real thing. We actually have to pretend that she's got something. Whereas otherwise they could be like, Saskia struggles with restrictive eating sometimes. Saskia has some obsessions and compulsions. Like, that's something they've said in my in one of my letters. It's like, Saskia struggles with obsessions and compulsions, not OCD. I'm like, is that not OCD though? So that's my timeline. This might be quite a long video. There's a lot of shit. I'm gonna split this into, basically, when I did the Psychiatry UK thing, there was a form to fill in with like a list of, it was split into sections. I'm doing it in those sections because I was gonna do it in like traits, but I couldn't really think of the traits. So we're gonna do it in early years, which I think is like up to primary school-ish, school years, social, routines, sensitivities, that kind of thing. And I think that's it. And I also have a few handy dandy quotes from my psychiatrists, the ones who didn't think I was autistic, which point towards autism. Just some handy dandy things I think we could put in here. So early years, I really do not remember. I really don't remember my early years, and I don't know if that is an autistic thing. I don't think it is, because some people I've spoken to have like really vivid memories of their early years, and I don't know if it's just because I blocked everything out. Like, I don't have any memories until like pissing myself in year 3. I think that's all I could tell you. I remember I wore some white shoes in year 1, but I couldn't tell you an event. Like, I feel like I have 5-second block memories, but I don't have like scenes in my head. I know that in like, when I was very young, I really liked Snow White. I don't know how obsessional this was, but I know I read the book a lot, I watched the film a lot, like I made my mum watch that a lot for me. However, I feel like that's quite a typical thing. Like, I don't know whether it became obsessional or whether it was just, this is fine, this is normal, this is just a child. That's kind of annoying thing with a lot of my childhood, is I don't know how extreme some of these things were, and I didn't have any friends, so I have no one to compare them to. I know, like, sensory-wise in my early years, I really struggled with tights at school. Like, school uniform did cause me some problems. Tights, the seam on your toes, horrible. We also had long sleeve school tops, and I literally cried every single day I put that on when I had to put a jumper on, because I didn't know that you could just like, until I learned that you hold your sleeve and then you put your jumper on. No one taught me that trick. So I cried when I put my jumper on. I think I had quite bad motor skills. Like, mostly fine motor skills. I couldn't tie my shoelaces. I did not learn to tie, like, I learned to tie my shoelaces, but I was still asking my teachers to tie my shoelaces until year 6. I couldn't do it, and I still don't do it well. I do the bunny hoops rather than like you do one and then you put it through. I don't like or understand that one. Oh, things like airport security made me absolutely scream, cry, hated it. But again, is that a child thing? Like, I know some people just kind of went through airport security fine. I really, really hated being scanned or touched. It was, like, another thing with touches I really didn't like. a lot of family members touching me. However, is that because I hated them? Like, I really did not like a lot of my family. I still do not. I did not want to be touched by them. And also, this might sound rude, I don't really care. Old people smell. I can't cope with it. A lot of my old relatives smell, and then obviously if they're stinking and they're hugging me, that's an absolute nightmare. Like, no. And like family gatherings, people talking to me, I don't care. Like, I would sit in the corner with my DS. Again, was that a regular child thing or was that an autism thing? Like, I think a lot of the things in my early childhood up until kind of secondary school are very much regular child things that when you combine them with everything else, you realise that is autism. But at the time, wouldn't have realised. Like, I think I wasn't obviously autistic until secondary school, sixth form, and at that point it should have been picked up. But primary school, I think I didn't scream autism. I wasn't throwing any tables and I was verbal. I was also very intelligent in primary school, everything. It was all very easy to me. And it still kind of was in secondary school until I got really mentally ill, which I'm pretty sure was just really big autism burnout. Like, I was just on it. I didn't have to try for things. I could just do things. Like, nothing was really hard for me. I guess you could say I was naturally gifted. Like, I did level 6 SATs. I was in the gifted and talented program. Someone threw a rock at my face on a gifted and talented day. Love that. Got a little scar by my eye from a little rock being thrown at me. Yeah. Like, my early years section is so small, I don't remember my early years. But I think a lot of my early years, kind of up until like year 5, the things I did were just regular childhood things, like not necessarily autism. I think I went on holiday and I bought a friend, I didn't like this person, but my mum said I had to buy her a present, so I bought her a $1 pencil or a bookmark, and I gave it to her and she was like, oh, you shouldn't have, and I was like, it was only $1. Apparently that was rude. I was like, well, I didn't want to buy this, I bought it because I was forced to. Like, yeah. We're going to move on to school years, and by this I mean conscious school years. School years that I actually remember. So year 6 onward, year 6 I still don't really remember. I got bullied, but then again, is that just a boys picking on girls kind of thing? Because I was called Swordfish because I have a massive schnoz. Thank you, boys. You made me really insecure about my nose for years, and I now want a nose job. Hee hee. That was fun. In year 6, here's a memory I have. I would start to kind of, in year 6 I became conscious and I started becoming opinionated, and I realised I had free will. Because I remember being told, we were doing comprehension, and I was told like, oh, we need to learn how to write really long sentences. I'm like, literally fucking why? When would I ever need to do this? I would never need to do this in real life. This is useless. I think I said like, if I'm going to be a doctor, when am I going to be writing really, really long sentences? Which, was I wrong? Have I written a really long sentence since? We got tasked with like writing the longest sentence we could. I was like, who's this helping? So yeah, so we had the long sentence debacle. I also got told off by a teacher for that like then, and also a teacher brought me out from like playtime, outside time, break time, and sat me down and was like, why are you talking back at teachers? I was like, I don't really think that was talking back. Well, I guess it was talking back, but like, I don't see why talking back is a problem. I do not respect authority. I understand that a teacher is in a position of power over me, but it's not because they deserve that position of power. Like, they've got a job, they've got a degree, slay, great for them. Doesn't mean they know more than me about everything. Doesn't mean they're always right. I stand by that. Again, is that autism, or is that just I'm not going to be pushed around by adults? I think this is when it started to become like you should think about what's going on, because there was a lot of things like that. We were having problems on my like table. People were being annoying, and I think I just told people to shut up. I was told once, I took things literally. I was told by a teacher like to tell someone, don't forget your kitchen sink. So I went out and I said, don't forget your kitchen sink. And I got a certificate for that. They were like, Saskia, you're so funny. I was like, You literally told me to do it. I still don't get why it was funny. I don't understand it. I got a certificate for it. That's a real vivid memory of mine. Oh, in year 6, I also called a girl a bitch because she was a bitch. I didn't like her. Don't really see the problem. I was then told to apologise, and I was told to say I didn't mean it. And I said, no, I'm not going to say that because I did mean it. So then I didn't apologise. I think I gave her a high five. And I did not say like oh my god, I'm so sorry, because I wasn't sorry. I'm not going to say I didn't mean it because I did mean it. Like, I'm not good at apologising because I don't care. I'm not going to say sorry for something I believe in, and I'm not going to say I didn't mean it because I probably did mean it. Then we moved to year 7. I really struggled at the beginning of secondary school because I had no fucking friends. I went to a different school from everyone in my class, and like, I was on the bus, I sat and I read. I didn't want to talk to people. I was really quite happy not talking to people. I hung out with my sister a lot at school because she was there a few years older than me, and I didn't really care about making friends. At some point I made friends. I don't know how I made these friends. I think they were just in my form and we became friends because of that, but I don't know how I obtained them other than proximity. Yeah. Teachers, in year 7, teachers really liked me because I was smart. I knew things, I wasn't a little bitch. But teachers definitely started to like me less. Once again, I realised that free will was a thing, and like, a teacher yelling at me was actually not very fair because I hadn't done anything wrong. Like, my English teachers always really liked me. I think English teachers, us mentally ill girlies, we love English teachers. I think English teachers always loved me because I was really good at English. I don't know how, because another problem I did have in English was I could not pick the obvious point. We were doing Macbeth, and I decided to write an entire essay about how Macbeth was actually schizophrenic and the witches were a hallucination. Where was the evidence? I don't think there was any. I did not pick obvious points. I couldn't necessarily interpret poems. Like, if someone told me this signifies this, I go, okay, I can write about that and I can, you know, make up some lovely bullshit. Or like, in a poem I could pick out the rhyme and I could remember, oh, rhyming is good because of this. But I couldn't read a poem and know, like, this is what it means. I didn't really pick up on those things. It was more just I know they've used this technique and this technique is good because. Or my teacher would say, we're gonna do an essay on this, you should write about this, and I'd go, okay, I'm gonna write about this. Like, I couldn't pick up things on my own. I was really good at creative writing. Don't really know how. I just knew English was about lying and exaggerating and bullshitting. So I would just learn a few kind of nice descriptive words and then shove them in and then lie, exaggerate and bullshit and get good grades. In year 8 or 9, teachers kind of started to notice I was mentally unwell, and we did a care around the family form, which I don't think actually ever did anything. But one of the quotes from my teacher, it's quote time, was, Saskia has very strong opinions and can become dismissive of staff members if she does not respect them. Stand by it. I'd do it again. Earn my respect. Don't be fucking rude. And then maybe I'll respect you back. Like, teachers also, I remember another memory I have from school, a teacher who like didn't really know me said, Saskia, would you like to demonstrate this? And I said, no. I didn't realise it wasn't a question. You don't ask me a question if it's not a question. Like, that was something that really annoyed me about teachers. They would say, can you do this? Would you like to do this? Pick one. And if you say, would you like to? And I say, no, that's okay. Like, can you demonstrate this? Yes, I am physically able to. Yes, I can do that. Would you like to? No, I would not like to. Like, I was on a lot of sports teams because I just happened to be good at sports, but I didn't get on with any of the girls. Some of them were just bitches. Like, I mean, hope you're all doing well, but they were popular girlies. School school teams are basically popular bitches and then like a few of like us weird ones who just happen to be sportingly okay. I was good at sports, but I wasn't good at the team bit. Like I was good at team sports, but not because I was good at the team communication, because I was good on my own and I could just kind of be like, give me the ball, catch the ball, and do something with the ball. I didn't really like talk to people on the bus. I didn't really have friends. People did make fun of me a lot. I got called weird a lot. Yeah, school was pretty good. But like, yeah, teachers really didn't like me once I started to get an opinion. I spoke back to them. One of my teachers, right, corrected me on my own surname. And then he got upset that I told him that he was wrong. I hate teachers, I hate them. Like, yeah, I didn't get on with people. I think all of year 7 I spent in the library. I had a very strict routine, like, because I didn't want to be late anywhere, and I have a lot of issues with peeing. I have to pee at certain times to prepare myself. My bladder must be perfectly empty before I go places. Like, I think we had lunch 12:50 till 1:30. At 1:20, I would have to go to the toilet. From the library, I would leave the library, go to the toilet. By the time I was done in the toilet, it would be just before the 5-minute bell was going to go so I could walk to my lesson. Same with break time. It had to be specifically organised and timed. I could not be late. I have very, very many issues with being late. So very many. Which obviously doesn't help when like I got a school bus that was regularly late. I was also really I really struggled with getting up for school and like coping. Like I could do the physical getting up, but I had to wake up at 6:20, get a bus that got me there late anyway, and then I wouldn't get home until like 6 p.m. So I'd spend from 6 till 6 awake on buses or at school, and like as soon as I kind of got home, it was dinner, shower, crash. Like I couldn't function. I was so tired. And like, yes, that could just be a school thing, but I think I'm so much more prone to physical and mental exhaustion than most people. Like I couldn't do it. I know, I think in primary school I also had pretty strict kind of after school routines. I had to do things at certain times. My homework had to be done straight away. Like if I got homework in lesson 3, at lunchtime I was doing that homework. I did not ever miss a piece of homework. I missed one piece of homework in like year 10 because I didn't know we had to do it, because we didn't get a reminder. The teacher decided to not tell us in a lesson, and then we had show my homework, which my login had never worked for, and I told the school my login doesn't work, I can't access your homework. And then I went to the lesson and I was like, well, I can't check show my homework, and he was like, you should check show my homework. I was like, shut up and fuck off. I really hate teachers, I really do. Like, I think a lot of my experiences at school are very typical of the weird child. However, I don't think I was the weird child. Like, people liked me. I don't know why. People became my friend. I did normal things. I had boyfriends, but I didn't know why I did that. I just kind of did. Like, I never liked people, but if someone asked me to be their girlfriend, I would just say yes. I still did that, but like not that long ago. If someone asked me, I would just say yes. I didn't have a romantic feeling for them. I literally could not want to be in a relationship any less than I do. But I would say yes. I had also, back on the kind of opinions thing, we'll come back to more opinions in the social section, which is next, but also back on the opinions thing. Someone once asked me, should I date this person? I said no, because they shouldn't. And then all of my friends suddenly excluded me and bullied me. Surprise, they dated and then broke up. Who was right? Me. Don't ask me for my opinion if you don't want to hear it. That's something that happened a lot as well. Bitches would ask me for my opinion when it was different from everyone else's, or when I had an opinion, because I did opinions. I developed opinions. I was into politics. So I had opinions on those kinds of things, and I'd get told, you're shoving your opinion in my face, you're forcing this. No, I would just get asked my opinion and I'd give it. Like, my opinions were probably quite strong, but like, I just had them and some of these bitches didn't. I really did judge people at school, not in like a God I hate you, but also kind of in a God I hate, like I hated all the popular people. All the popular people hated me. I still to this day don't really know why, but like some of them liked me. And then when they went back into their group of popular bitches, they were vile. There was also some people on my bus who were really horrible to me. In school, I got so on when I left school in year 10, I did not go back. And no one really noticed I was gone. I don't think I had a single message asking where I had gone. Yeah, it was good. Hee hee. And like, again, I think a lot of my school stuff is not necessarily autism, but combined with everything else, you start to get this lovely potion of autism. Like, yeah.
Don't know why, for some reason I kind of just skipped over all of sixth form. But basically in sixth form I had no friends, but it was the best time of my life. Okay, I popped off. I was so smart. I was so good at like my little routine thing. Yes, my mental health eventually declined rapidly and I had to take a lot of time off school, but that was not the point. I thrived for a little bit. But I also, my teacher was just having a little bitch session about everyone, and she pulled us all in individually and like spoke to us, and she was like, oh yeah, the teachers have been talking about you. And I think I mentioned this later on, how she said like teachers had said I was rolling my eyes at them, which first of all, fuck off, I'm not going to give you eye contact all the time. Teachers had said I was looking rude. Oh, and I didn't smile. I wasn't smiling when I was in their lessons. What do you want me to do? I love cells. Wow, the phloem. Like I don't really mention sixth form, but sixth form I kind of popped off. I isolated myself, and it was the best thing for mental health. I didn't have friends, and it was phenomenal. I would leave school early. I would have days off. I ended up just teaching myself half the course. And I absolutely thrived because I think I knew how to do things now, but teachers still had problems with me. Not many, because I was smart, but like I remember we were in a lesson and a teacher was like, oh, can we move on to the next topic, or does anyone need help? And I was like, you know what, no one else is going to say anything. Babe, I'm fucking stuck. Come over here and help me. And she came over and helped me. Like in sixth form, teachers liked me a lot more because I think they realised I was allowed to have opinions. I'm 16. But I did have some meltdowns in class. If you're in my sixth form biology standard level, I'm so sorry that you had to see that. Like, we were sticking pictures in of lungs, and first of all, I hate glue sticks. I didn't have a workbook, I just had a notebook and I ripped the pages out. So like, why would I stick something in? It was not a straight line. It wouldn't line up perfectly, and I did almost cry. I did almost cry at like 9 a.m. Yeah. But sixth form popped off until it didn't pop off. But it didn't pop off not because it wasn't popping off, because I wasn't popping off. I just I thrived so hard, and then I hit burnout, and I was like, ooh. So I kind of just stopped going in.
So then social. Here is, I think, where we really get autism. Social and routine. Routine mostly. I have a lot of problems with routine. Social, I'm very bad at instructions. I need a visual, and I also need a step by step. Like, I do aerial hoop, gone instantly. Like, the person will say, we're gonna do this, here is a visual, and I'll go, oh my god, great. I get up in that hoop, okay, now what? And I'm also not very good if she says like, oh, just move your left leg up. What does that mean? Like, I have a video of me literally just hanging there being like, okay, now what? And she's like, move your hands like a handstand, and I'm like, she's like, no, the other way, and I'm like, and she's like, no, upside down. I'm like, I just don't, I need a lot of instructions. I can't just get told like, do this. I need to do step by step everything. Like, I need to be really guided, because why would I do something? Why would I just know that you need me to do something if you haven't told me to do it? Like, when I'm helping my mum with like changing a light bulb, she'll just say, okay, hold this here. Where is here? How am I holding this? Do you need me to move it? How? I'm not good at that. And because of that, I'm very direct with my instructions. If someone asks me, can I help you with something? If the answer is yes, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can help me. I'm going to tell you a step by step, because why would I assume that you know other things I want you to do if I haven't told you? Can everyone be direct with their instructions? And I mean like direct, like, yeah. Another thing, like when I did my driving, I really struggled learning to drive. I did it and I was good at it, I guess. But like, another thing, like this is going on to routines, but like if I was told a rule, I would assume it was a rule. I was told you have to take every roundabout in second gear. And then I took a roundabout in second gear and my instructor said, no, you could have taken that one in third. How would I have known that? When you've told me a rule, I've learned the rule. Why would it have changed? Like, I wasn't very good at following directions unless it was on the sat nav. Like, I couldn't just get told. I'm really glad in my driving test I got follow the sat nav rather than follow signs to this place, because I just can't. I can't pay attention to so many things at once. It's really stressful. Back to social. I only really initiate conversations when I want to talk. And I also don't necessarily want a conversation a lot of the times. I just want to tell people things. Like, I repeat the same information to my flatmate, Jade, literally all the time. I will go to the gym, send her a Snapchat video of me saying information. As soon as I come back, I will come back and I will tell her the same information I've already told her. And then I kind of go. I just kind of go in, do a little blurt, and then leave. That's how a lot of conversations with me go, is if I call you, it's because I want to talk to you. But it's because I want to talk, not because I want to talk to you. You know? Like, I just like talking, but I don't necessarily need someone listening, which is kind of why I like doing this YouTube stuff, because I can just kind of do all the talking, but no one has to deal with me. And I don't have to deal with social cues and that kind of thing. Eye contact is a no. Hate it. It's so difficult. Why would I look in your eyes? Even like this. How often am I supposed to blink? I'm not even looking in the eyes. I don't normally look in the camera. I look in the viewfinder because I want to look at myself. I can't. Like when I tutor, I barely even look at the screen. I can't. If I'm in a video call, I'm barely even looking at the screen. If I'm looking at someone, barely even looking at you. I don't look at people, makes me nervous, because if I have to give you eye contact, that's like a very active job to me, I think. Like if I'm doing eye contact, I have to really be thinking about looking in your eyes, and I'm not paying attention because I'm focusing so much on my deep stare into your eyes. Eye contact doesn't work for me. I also don't really get why you do it. I got told, here's another thing in school, I got told at some point in sixth form, like teachers say that you roll your eyes at them all the time. I also only just learned that rolling your eyes is not actually going blue, 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 but it's just looking away. I don't get that's why is that a problem? That I'm not constantly staring at you. Sometimes I have to look at the board. Sometimes I don't want to look at you. Sometimes I just want the auditory information. Like, why is it a problem that I'm not constantly staring at everyone I talk to? Like, in school as well, babe, there's 30 other students. Well, there was 7 in my psychology class, but like, there's 6 other students. Do you want us all to be staring at you? And if I'm staring at you and giving you eye contact, when can I go down and write? When am I staring at you and when am I staring at the board? There's too many rules with eye contact and I'm not a big fan of them. I don't think they are correct. Why would I make eye contact with someone? And like, you can't just say, oh, you need to make eye contact, it's rude if you don't. Okay, why is it rude if I don't? What benefit do you get if I give you eye contact? Like, just believe I'm paying attention to you. Just trust that I am. Because if I'm staring at you, I'm absolutely not paying attention to you. Because I'm staring instead. There's nothing happening behind my eyes. It's just stare. I also get told I have issues with tone, as in like, also volume. I used to get told that I spoke too loudly or too quietly. Tonally, I think I speak quite monotonously a lot of the time. I don't really have like a, oh my god, I'm so happy. Like, that's not really what I do. Everything I say is kind of on the same tone. It's just, it might be faster or it might be maybe slightly louder. Like, I get told my tone is rude all the time. I think it's just, I'm monotonous. I have the same tone for every conversation. I say something and someone will say, oh, the way you said that was really rude, or like, you're so snarky. I'm like, why? Like, I got a lot of the things I say as well, people just kind of say, oh my god, you're so funny, you could be a comedian. Why? Like, a lot of the things I say people think is a joke. No, I'm probably just being mean. I probably just said something that's like not socially acceptable, and then you've been like, oh my god, haha, haha, it's funny. And like, no, it was rude. I get told I'm very rude a lot of the time, and like sometimes I probably am, but a lot of the time I think I'm literally just not gonna sit there and listen to everything that you say passively and not comment if you said something wrong. I can't tell if people are being nice to me or not. I really can't. Like, I can't tell when someone speaks to me, unless it's an obvious, oh my god, I really like you, you're so nice. I don't really know if anyone likes me. Like, a lot of people at uni, like at netball and stuff, I don't think any of them like me. And like, probably they don't, but I don't really have much evidence for that. Like, someone once, not necessarily corrected me, but like they told me a rule in netball that I already knew. And I was like, are you trying to correct me because I'm shit? I was like, is this you're absolutely dog shite at netball, someone has to correct you and tell you this rule? I was like, no, I'm aware of this though. Like, I didn't respond, I just kind of stood there and I was like, huh? I was like, no, I'm pretty sure. Someone also, we were playing netball. In netball, you're not allowed to step. It's illegal. And I did not step. Or I landed like that, put my feet back together, and then I got told, you took a step. And I was like, no, I didn't. And then I got told, no, you took a step. And I was like, no, I didn't. Like, I'm gonna stand up for myself. And like, yes, that also could have just been a nice correction, but to me it was a, oh my god, this bitch thinks I'm shit at netball. They are out to get me, they hate me. And like, yes, some of them do, but yeah. Like, I don't know when people are being nice to me or not. I don't understand. Like, someone corrected me at netball and then I came home and I was like, they said this, that's really mean. Like, I think they were being really rude to me. Or like, I'm really upset with that. And then someone was like, no, that's they didn't mean it meanly. And I was like, but it felt mean. Like, I think I just assume that everyone's gonna be a bitch to me because most people are. University is pretty much the same as high school in that there are cliques, there are social hierarchies, and I don't respect or understand social hierarchies, so I don't fucking care. Like, I don't understand constructive criticism. That's just criticism. Like, I know that you're trying to, like, I think people are not very good at giving constructive criticism either. Like, don't tell me my work is shit, tell me how to fix it. You know? I don't know, I misinterpret what a lot of people say, or people don't speak clearly enough. This goes back to my instructions thing. I want clear instructions. Everything you say needs to be clear. Nothing is clear enough for me. I need, like, I don't really do facial expressions. I don't really understand them. I don't understand tone either, which means that, like, unless someone is saying, oh my god, I love you, you're so cool, I really love you, I don't know if you like me. I can't tell if someone's like angry unless they're yelling, oh my god, I'm so angry. Like, I'm not gonna just pick up on like a sigh. A sigh can mean anything. I sigh. Sometimes I just forget that I forget how to breathe sometimes and I sigh because it's just too much air comes out. Speaking, I don't know when to speak. Like, I speak out of turn a lot because I'm either constantly going and constantly speaking because I don't know who's supposed to speak, I don't know who's meant to be speaking right now, so I'm like, fuck it, I guess it's me. Or I don't speak at all because I'm like, I don't know how to speak. Should I be speaking? Who should be speaking? Like, I'm not gonna have phone calls because how do I know when you're done? And even face to face, how do I know when you're done speaking? I cut people off a lot, and like, I get told I'm rude because I'm cutting them off, but I don't know that I'm supposed to. I don't know that you're not done speaking. And I don't know that I should be speaking. I don't know. I don't really have an in-between in speaking. I'm kind of either in charge of that conversation or I'm not really present because I don't know when to speak and I don't know what's going on and I can't understand the situation. Oh, things like empathy as well. No. I did the EQ and I scored about 5 or 6. I don't really understand other people. I see everything from my viewpoint. Someone's like, oh, put yourself in their shoes. I don't know how to, because if something's upset them but it wouldn't upset me, I'm like, well then why are you upset? I don't get it. Like, unless someone else is upset by the exact same thing that would upset me, then I can probably go, yeah, I'd be pissed off too. But like, if someone gets upset at something that would not even faze me, I don't understand it and I don't know what you want me to do about it either. Like, if someone comes to me with a problem, unless they say fix it, what do? Like, I've been told I'm good at comforting people because I know that when I'm sad, I probably just kind of want a hee. Like, from certain people. Don't touch me if I don't fucking like you. But like, I do that, and obviously a lot of people like affection. So they're like, oh my god, you're so good at comforting people. I've not comforted you really. Like, if someone comes to me with a problem, I'm just like, fuck it, I guess I'll solve it for you. Like, I guess I'll give it a go. But if someone's like, do you think this is rude or something, I'm like, that's honestly, it's not even worth asking me because my opinion is so different from a regular person's. Like, I wouldn't know. If someone's like, oh my god, my boyfriend didn't talk to me for 2 hours, is this rude? And I'll go, no? Yes? No? Like, I don't have the same processing as everyone. Like, my ex used to say like, oh, is it okay if I go and stay over at a girl's house? And I was like, literally don't fucking care, babe. Like, yeah. Should I be upset by that? Should it be a problem? Like, because it was a problem if I wanted to like stay with a boy, but I don't really fucking know why. I don't understand that. Relationships are a big problem for me. I don't understand them. Basically, if someone asked me to be in a relationship with them, I'll just probably say yes. Like, it can't just be a rando, but if you've been speaking to me for a while and you ask, do you want to be boyfriend, girlfriend? I'll probably just say yes. I don't think I've ever felt romantic feelings for anyone other than you, Jade. Don't even worry. But like, I don't know what romantic feelings feel like. How do I know when I love someone in a non-platonic way? Like, how do I know when I want to kiss my friends because I love them and kissing is a sign of affection. How do I know when I want to kiss someone in a romantic way? When is a kiss romantic? When is a hug romantic? When is a chat flirty? That's another thing. I get flirted with sometimes. I don't know I'm being flirted with. Someone will say, babe, you were being flirted with. Or like, I was looking through an old conversation with a boy and I showed it to someone and they were like, babe, you were being flirted with. I was like, how do you know? Was I? Like, I don't understand romance, relationships. They're all too tricky. I'd rather not do it unless someone else is like also autistic and just exactly the same person as me because I don't understand it. So many rules. Am I supposed to just pick up on these? No, I'd rather not do it. Ooh, also like speaking, I didn't realise how much I gesture. Until I think Jade told me. Like I don't know what I'm gesturing to or what I'm doing with my hands, but my hands are either kind of down here, like when I'm filming videos, they're down here, but they're also kind of constantly doing this. I like to be busy, but like when I'm tutoring, but what am I gesturing to? Why am I doing that? Like, who is this helping? I don't really get it. Like, I don't think there's a purpose to any of my gesturing or any of my kind of, but it happens. Oh, apparently though I wrote this in my assessment form, asking my flatmate, apparently my tone changes when I'm talking to an adult or someone older than me, and I gesture a lot if my conversation is important. Here's the thing I did, I didn't know I do this. I met with a lecturer once, with Jade, love of my life, and I repeat everything they say back to me. I think it's just because no one's ever clear, so I need to make sure that we're all clear. Like, the lecturer will say something, and I'm like, so for this coursework, you could do this idea. And I'm like, so for the coursework, you were thinking that maybe we could do this idea, right? Again, with the gesturing. Like, I repeat everything back to someone because I need you to be clear with me. I need to understand what's happening, and I don't understand. If I just get told, do this, no, I need the instructions, and therefore I'm going to repeat the instructions until you have confirmed absolutely everything and agreed with me. Thank you. Yeah, if we then look at some other things that like people said in my assessment forms, I'm very blunt and direct, so people think I am rude. A lot of people have to reword things they say to me, and there are certain phrases that you avoid. Certain phrases have to be avoided, or I think they are a sign of bad news. Understanding group dynamics and following polite norms is very difficult for her. Yes. When she's feeling affectionate, for example, she would say kiss to mean I love you. That's another thing. Do I love you? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. How do I know when I love someone? I don't really understand emotions. How do I know when it's love in a romantic way, not in a platonic way? Because romantic in a... Why are there so many feelings? This is why I just don't do the feelings. I'm just like, yeah, I want to kiss you. In a friendly way. I don't understand. I can't navigate the world around me. Oh, here are some lovely... I have very black and white thinking and very strict, very harsh opinions. Yes, Saskia describes herself as being highly opinionated and believes in facts and evidence. This has led to her being in trouble with teachers at school. Saskia is highly opinionated and rigid in her views. She is very literal in her thinking and insensitive to how others feel about her expressed views and opinions. Does everyone hear that last thing? Autism, girls. Can't. That was from a letter in like 2018. 2016 maybe. So, when Adam talked about the last bit, which I think is routines and like sensitivities, my thing is, if it works, why would I change it? Which I think is a pretty logical argument, however, it can cause some difficulties for me. Like, everything has a place. Everything in my room, even if it looks chaotic or not perfect, which it doesn't really because I have a lot of problems, it has a place. Like, my perfumes are in their order. My makeup is in its order. My pens are in its order. The fat highlighters have to be on the middle. The thinny ones have to be on the outside. My pens have their order. My clothes, my gym tops are in order of preference. My socks are split into nice and bad socks. Like, everything has its place. At home, my other home, everything has its place. If people moved my stuff, I don't think I've ever felt rage like it. Do not touch my stuff, do not move my stuff. I will know if my stuff has been moved and I will not be happy about it. Like, it hurts me. If someone like moved a book from my stack, why would you do that? It belongs there. Like, I would say my room at home, not uni, is so organised. I don't know what it looks like now, I haven't been home in a while, but like even things that like look out of place, like the one hair tie on my bedside table, no, that's my bedtime hair tie. Everything is there. Everything has a purpose. If you see like something on the side, it's not there because I've forgotten about it. It's there because it's an important piece of the room and it has to be there. And I can't just move things. I couldn't just suddenly like, I don't know, pick up my pens and be like, oh, fuck it, let's move these. No, no. If it works, why would I change it? I hate change. Why would you change things? Why would you not have a plan? Planning is so gorgeous. if I'm doing something, I'm planning as many miles in advance as possible. Like, I went to visit my sister on a coach in December, and I planned that in August, and I printed everything out, and I had 17 screenshots of everything, and I was ready, and I was prepared, and I was ready to go. Why would I not want to do that? Why would I want to be spontaneous? Disgusting. Like, when I had my assessment moving my autism assessment had a knock-on effect on every other day of the week, because I had planned my gym around that assessment, which meant that my gym schedule had then all shimmied. My lunch plans had all shimmied. Everything had shimmied. I'd had that autism assessment planned for a month. Suddenly the change, what do I do? Why would you change things? Why would you move them? Why would you not let everything be how it should? Like, if like a meeting moves earlier or later, that's ruined my whole day. I think this is also a very neurodivergent thing. If I have something at like 2 p.m, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything until we hit 2 p.m. I'm much better at this now. Like, I had a doctor's appointment at 1:40 the other day, and I went to the gym beforehand, which normally I wouldn't. Like, when I was a bit more stressed, I literally would not have been able to leave the house. I wouldn't have been able to even drink water. I can't drink something 2 hours before an event. So if I have tutoring at 4 p.m, I stop drinking at 2. I stop drinking at 8 p.m. as well. Like, I have rules and routines about that. And like, normally if I have an event at some time, I can't do anything until we hit that time. I have a very strict bedtime routine. If something is wrong when Jay's put me to bed, the whole thing has to be restarted. We must begin again. I've become stressed. My morning routine is slightly less strict, but it is a routine because it works. I get everything done. I don't forget things. Things happen properly. So we then have sensory sensitivities. Loud noises upset me. If you knew me in secondary school and didn't bully me, thank you so much. But I listen to all of my things on sound 2. Like, if you're on an iPhone, if you have it on bottom sound and then you click up twice, that is it. Sometimes sound 1. I think my ears have become more adjusted now, but it was quiet. Like, oh my god, my camera's dying. Periods where I wouldn't even wear a coat. I really struggled with coats. I couldn't, and it was another thing that I couldn't, like, I had the coat and then I couldn't deal with taking it to school because I would then have to get it from my locker at the end of the day, and then I might be late for the bus, and like, if I miss that bus I'm not going to go home, and like, I know I wouldn't technically be late for the bus, but I was already going to the toilet after class, and like, couldn't really do tight clothes. Jeans are a massive no-go. Like, I'm getting better at them, but I'm not good at them. I like loose clothes. Some textures really disturb me.
Watch my videos, you will also probably know which clothes I like to wear, because I don't wear any other clothes. You will see the same top in every video. These joggers from Tesco's, phenomenal. You will see them in every single video. Like, when I do a week in the life, I will be wearing the same clothes all week. Like, I will be wearing the clothes that work because they work.
Like, I have a lot of sensory difficulties. Lights at the gym, painful. Like, certain feelings of socks that are not ankle socks, no, unless they're above my trousers. Can't do them. Big spoons, that's a neurodivergent thing. We don't like big spoons. Why would you want a big spoon? It's too big. It's so big, I can't. Like, I have a lot of routines. That kind of created an eating disorder, I think. Like, Saskia is generally restricted by routines. Saskia has issues with restricting food, obsessionality around food, routines. Saskia struggles with rigidity. Any disruption in her routine makes Saskia very upset. I have a lot of issues with disruption to routine, sensory things, like a lot of textures, fruit, seeds. Most fruit I can't do. The smell of a lot of food I can't do. Sometimes the feeling of food I can't do. I have a lot of sensory issues, and like, I could go into them a lot more, but I'm not going to go into them anymore. So I would say another thing I have is I have a few stims, which I didn't realise I stim a lot. I also have a lot of issues with picking my skin till it bleeds, because I can feel that it's like bumpy. Like I have a scar on my arm from when my arm just felt wrong, so I, trigger warning, scooped an entire chunk of skin out of it. I do that a lot. I stim sometimes. I do that when I'm excited. My fingers do this a lot. I click and like do that a lot. Oh, I walk on my toes a lot. I didn't know that that was a thing, but I do autistic toe walk. Like there are a lot of traits that I've got, and obviously my camera keeps dying, so I'm not going to include all of them, but yeah, that was a general idea. Most of my stuff comes from kind of routines and sensory difficulties, and obviously like there's a lot of overlap with things like OCD and other things, but it's worth checking if you're autistic. Do a quick AQ, do a quick RADS-R, a CAT-Q, just run a couple of tests and just kind of see what's up.
To be honest, this video could honestly be about 6 hours long, but I'm going to add a quick mini section from my webcam of like mental health struggles, because I would say something I was asked in my assessment was, do I agree with my previous diagnoses? Do I think those could be explained by autism? I have struggled with like anxiety, depression and restrictive eating, and I would say they were all caused by autism. Like my depression, I'm pretty sure was just burnout. I got so overwhelmed. Like I did work in therapy once, and also CBT has never worked for me. I didn't understand it. I didn't get what we were doing. It didn't work. When I was working with my therapist though, we made like a mind map of all of my mental health problems. All of it stemmed in the middle to the feeling of being overwhelmed. My eating was restricted to control the feeling of being overwhelmed. Things that overwhelmed me, like sensory things, overwhelmed me, and that made me stressed. Social experiences overwhelmed me, and that caused anxiety. I was overwhelmed with like school, and that caused the depression. Like everything stems from a core feeling of being overwhelmed, and like I think that's where all my mental health struggles came from. Like trigger warning self-harm, but I think my self-harm was just purely feeling overwhelmed and needing something to release, I guess. Same with some of my kind of restrictive eating was about controlling the overwhelming situation, controlling not understanding what was going on in the world around me by controlling something I could control. Like I can't control other people, and I was becoming so overwhelmed and irritated by everyone around me, but I can control myself. So I would control my eating, and then that then did spiral into like Rexy Town. But like I would say pretty much all of my mental health problems have stemmed from autism. Like the depression is burnout. I get burnt out so easily, but I don't have most of the kind of signs of depression unless I'm in a burnt out period. Anxiety, I have a kind of constant anxiety, but it's not really anxiety, it's more just being nervous about like changes in my routine, being nervous about textures, people, but it's not like I'm scared of the people. It's like there are all these rules and I just can't understand, and the social situation is so stressful. And like the reasons I've had mental health crises and like hit my worst have been, I have purely been so overwhelmed with everything. I've done something to try and stop that massively overwhelming feeling, and it has all stopped for a moment. Like I really love sleeping, because sleeping, when I was really unwell, I would sleep from honestly like 9 p.m. to about 2 p.m. because sleeping meant that I was in control. I didn't have to deal with the stressful day of things not working for me, things not being perfect for me. Like I think all of my mental health problems kind of are autism. Like I have a lot of obsessions and compulsions, but like I don't think they're typical OCD. And like they could be partly OCD, but I think it is just, most of it comes from being overwhelmed, the routine, the sense of safety, like that, rather than OCD. Like I have a lot of things that are comorbid to autism, but I don't think they're like actually things. It's almost just I have these traits that stem from the overwhelming autisticness.
This video is probably very long. My camera has died 3 times now, and I've had to just put her on charge for 2 minutes and do a 2 minute. She's dying now. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you in my next video.